everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Sarah. So this video I'm just going to be talking about something that has been on my mind for a few years now. I think it's just best to let it out and let whoever needs to learn and also to help myself. So this video is going to be about fake Christians, quote unquote, or what does it mean to be a true Christian. I want people to actually reflect and think about it, like, would you call yourself a true Christian? Would you need to take into account just going to church doesn't make you a Christian? Anyone can go to church, literally. Like, you can know that God exists, but does that actually make you a true Christian? And I'm not saying that anyone needs to be perfect, but remember, your actions speak louder than your words. So I'll just give you like the few points that I think it means to be a true Christian. Number one, I'll say is being loving. That's like the number one thing. That's the key thing. I think it means to be a Christian, because God is love. Another thing I would say is I have my notes down here. I'm just looking at what I wrote down, so I just don't lose track of what I'm saying. So the second thing I believe is to be kind, to be patient, to be compassionate, which is also what God's character is in the Bible. And my third point is just basically being obedient. To be able to obey God's commands, to be able to basically obey like what God has given us to do in His scriptures. And like I said, I don't know when it's perfect, but just to think about if your life actually embodies these qualities or not. Now, the thing that drove me to making this video is some experience that I've had in the past. I think some other Christians have also had these things that happened to them, and then it kind of drove them away from church. I think it's wrong to people just to have a bad experience with people at church and then suddenly think that God is bad or something. But just remember that it's just those people at that church. God is still good, God is still kind, and you can always go to a different church if there's one church does not serve you, or the people there are not as nice or are not as kind. Now, I'll talk about the experiences that drove me to this video. So basically, just a summary of the story. A few years ago, it was on the 31st night. And most people could know about the New Year's crossover service from the 31st of December to the 1st of January of the following year. Most people usually go to church that night, and then they pray and then they cross over. So I messaged this one girl that I knew. We're not as close or anything, but we kind of knew each other. And I was like, oh, hi, I just reached out to her and said, oh, I know you're going for this 31st crossover service, and it's my first time at that church. I would like to go along with you, because I feel like I hadn't been to that church before, and it would be nice. I feel like I'll be more comfortable going with someone I know to a big and crowded church. And she's like, and then her response to me was more like, I'm busy. I have things to do. I have people I'm going with. Just like this very dismissive response. And the thing is that if I was someone who's not like a Christian, who hasn't been to a church before, I'll be very taken aback. I'll be more discouraged, and I won't want to go. Because I've been to several churches, I think the only reason why I messaged her was just so that I can feel more comfortable, knowing fully what I knew who she was, and I haven't been there before. Maybe feel more comfortable going with her to that church. So anyways, based on the response I got, I'm not blaming her in specific. I'm just like a category of people. But this is how some people react and treat other people. And I know maybe she didn't think she did anything wrong, but if I was a stranger, if someone that didn't know about church in general, this would just basically be a bad look on Christians and how we behave. So anyways, after that, I basically just said, what, it's okay. And even that period, that night, she didn't actually even message to say, did you still come to church or anything? But it's fine. So that night, I decided to go to a different church that I know by myself, a different one, not that one, because that one just seemed a little bit too crowded. So I looked up another church for me to go to, and I found one. And another thing happened there when I got there. It was nothing relating to me. So when I actually got there, it was also very crowded in this church. And when I walked in, I saw this one lady. Because some people were sitting, some people were standing, because it was just that crowded. There were not enough seats for everyone. So I saw this one lady. She was standing, seriously praying, and I mean seriously praying. I felt like she was speaking in tongues. She was just kabashing, she was praying seriously. And, so anyways, as she was praying, see what the funny thing that happened. There's this lady, a lady was behind her with her kids, and she was standing in front of this lady, and the lady was sitting down. after the prayer was done. So the lady, just said, hi, excuse me, like lady behind her that was sitting was like, oh hi, excuse me, I can't see, like, you're just in my way. And this lady that was praying looked at her and just looked her up and down, like eyed her, like gave her like a very stank attitude, like just looked up and down. He rolled her eyes and just and walked out of the church. I was like, sis, what happened there? Like, in fact, I'm like, that prayer she was praying, is it going to get up there? Like, is it actually going to pass the roof of the church? Is God going to answer her prayer? Like, like, so it's kind of like, it's, to me, I feel like is you're doing something and then your attitude, your personality just basically shows a different thing about yourself or a different lifestyle. So I feel like all she could have just done is just say, "Oh, sorry," and just moved a little bit. And the lady behind that was not rude at all. Just said, "Hi, excuse me, you're just in my way. I can't see the screen anymore." And she just gave an attitude and walked out of the church. I feel like that was just completely wrong, very unnecessary. Like, so my point is that, like, you have to make sure the things you're doing, like your personality, not just saying you're going to church and then your personality says otherwise, like you don't even embody Christ-like behavior. So just basically working on yourself and make sure your personality actually shows that you're a Christian, that you're God's child. So my third point I would say is tithing. Um, it's funny because so many Christians go to church and then don't believe in tithing. I'm just like, I would say like at least like 70% actually don't tithe. And then they would say that, oh, the reason why they don't tithe is because, and I've asked a few, obviously I haven't asked many people, but the few people I've spoken to said that the reason why they don't tithe is because they feel like the church steals their money, or the church, gets richer, and then they just feel like they're tithing to a wrong cause. I feel like people, and I don't blame them. I understand, like, some churches obviously misuse the money or the funds that people give them, their congregation gives them. But my point is that you have to go back to the Bible and then see, why are we even tithing? Like, what is the purpose of tithing? And if you look at it properly, you will see that it's God has commanded you to do this. God has commanded all of us to do this. It's basically standard, one of His commands. These are one of the most straightforward commands you can obey. I know it's hard sometimes. Bringing out your own money to give someone is kind of hard, but just know that this is one of God's command. And then the church has nothing to do with that tithing you're doing. So whatever they're using with the funds to do, if you're doing, if they are stealing it, if they are if they are using it to buy jets, whatever, buy planes or buy cars, that is none of your business. In your own heart, you know that you're doing it for God. You know that you're obeying God's command, and let them deal with their own consequences. Let God deal with them, but don't let their own sins affect you or make you do the wrong things. So leave them, let them do whatever they want to do with the money, and just know that your heart is clean. Know that you've done what God has called you to do, and full stop. Leave it at that. Let God take control. Like, God's going to bless you. God is going to use that thing to empower you, to bless you. Ignore what they're saying the money for. That is really none of your concern. It's none of your business. So please, guys, if you had the wrong thinking about tithing, like, trust me, tithing is very good. Me myself, I have seen the rewards from tithing. Like, I'm a testimony of tithing. I've been blessed financially, blessed in every area of my life since I started tithing a few years ago. So please start tithing. Ignore whatever the church is doing with the money. If you don't feel comfortable with that church, change to a different church that you feel like your beliefs are in line with that church. Okay. And my final point, about fake Christianity is just, I feel like some people are just not kind. Some people I know, they would go to church like 3 times in a week, or some people I used to know rather. I think I would go to church 3 times a week. Like, they will be like serious, like, church goers. Instead, I'll be like, am I slacking or something? Like, they'll be going to church like 3 times a week, but then they come back, they're not kind. They're like bullies. They steal. They talk really bad about others. They gossip a lot. Like, their whole character, their whole personality is just unkind, wicked. Like, I'm like, so what do you learn in that church you go to 3 times? What are you gaining from the church you go? It's just a show off that you're going to church. It's just to show off to people that you're going to church. Is that the purpose of doing that? What do you actually benefit? What do you gain? What do you learn from that? God is not looking for someone to show off. Like it's in several places in the Bible whereby God doesn't like people who show off and pretend that they are good Christians. God sees your heart. God knows who you are. So you don't have to pretend and go to church 5 times just to show to everybody. Oh, I'm such a good Christian. I go to church 4 times a week. No, that is good and fine. That is good. I'm not saying it's bad, but that is good. But make sure your own personality, everything you embody, it shows that you're a good. So it shows that you're a Christian. It shows that you worship God. If someone meets you, let them see God in you. If someone meets you, let them see Christ in you. Let them see your attitude. And the things that, funny enough, sorry, just to quickly sum this up. Funny enough, when people meet you, people who are not Christians, the best way to actually convert them or to show them, who God is through your personality. It's not by what just you say, because many people have heard about God. Many people have, know who, like, it's not like a myth or something. People know that God, most people know that God exists. Even people who don't believe in God know that God exists. But when they see your personality, it's not just saying, oh, come to church, oh, do this, you have to do this, don't do this, don't do that. Like, no. It's how they see you living your life. It's your own testimony, like how you carry this, how kind you are. And they'll be like, okay, this person is just so kind. I wonder why they are so kind like this, why they're so patient with me, So is that sorry, is that personality traits, that thing in you that actually draws people close to God. So yeah, I just want to say these are the things that I feel like people do and they don't know about, that actually we need to think about it. I've thought about this myself in the past. I've analyzed my personality, look for things that are not serving me, things that are not in line with God's character, and cut those things off and actually do things and be the person that God has called me to be, in terms of being kind, being patient, being compassionate. And every day I learn, and I want other people to also learn this as well, and just to look at their character, change a few things, make it a few tweaks here and there. And just be a blessing to another person, be kind to someone else. Thank you for watching. I hope this video was in some way helpful, and in some way I feel like some people can relate with me. So please leave a comment down if you ever had a bad encounter with someone who claims to be a Christian, or someone who says they're a Christian but then they treated you poorly. You can leave a comment down, let us know what your experience was like. So thank you for watching. Please give this video a like, a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and please subscribe to my channel for more content from me. Thank you.